And we are underway, homecoming weekend at Ross-Ade Stadium, and it's another touchback, make it number 19 on the season. Well, 3rd and 7 now on this opening drive here for Purdue. O'Connell with pressure coming. Otomewu was pressuring on the inside, and the pass is complete to Milton Wright. It's a first down for Purdue. And Doru in motion. And here comes Burton with a big gain and a first down pickup. 3 carries here so far as O'Connell enters back into this game, and it was Boilermakers who forced the fumble, and the ball is still loose over at midfield. Minnesota says it has it. Minnesota has it, and forcing a turnover.
In recent weeks, Jack Mafe off the edge here, 34. He's going to work the corner off the snap of the football. Just goes with a straight speed rush, chops the outside hand of the tackle, Eric Miller. And once he gets to the quarterback, Mafe not just thinking big hit, he's thinking takeaway.
And we've seen some jumbo sets by this Minnesota line to be able to do that and pushing forward and picking up the first down. Interesting if we see number 23 here on this drive defensively here for the Boilermakers. Morgan sizing it up and headed towards the right side, lofting it into the air. The pass is complete. It's a touchdown to Chris Ottman-Bell for 32 yards and the first touchdown of the game.
On the outside, because of the backfield set, it is still a rhino look where you got big personnel on the field. So you put the secondary for the Boilermakers, this time Jamari Brown, in a position where you know you can dictate that one-on-one matchup. And Chris Ottman-Bell, he was supposed to be the alpha for this receiver core, the Golden Gophers.
Chris Ottman-Bell hang on to the football long enough for it to be a touchdown. As we go back to look at it across the field, David Bell with the reception.
The ball is tucked in his arm, and then it comes loose when it hits the ground, when he hits the ground. So I think it's actually incomplete. And it looks like the ball does roll out. So that third element to me was not there.
It's the first carry for Dylan Downing. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. And a 5-receiver set here for Purdue. O'Connell, this is where he can thrive, and it's complete to Milton Wright. Receivers who stepped up his game.
You'll see both linebackers who began in that mug look, they fly out of the A-gaps after at least giving a pressure look pre-snap, but then the zone is very briefly. He finally has been there recently for Sawyer Marion.
And they go to the ground game. Doru pushes off one defender, pushes off another, and picks up the first down here for Purdue.
Variety of ways to match up David Bell with as many people as you can.
Boilermakers have a 3 for 3 on 3rd down, and here's another one, and O'Connell, there's a flag coming in.
To look at it, Gus Hartwick in there in the center position. The injury takes place with Tyler Witt. The hold comes from the center, who's having a hard time on the interior. His feet slip out from under him. Tyler Witt's feet slip out from under him. Normally, advantage to the offensive players in slick conditions like this.
Mitchell Fiddle in for a 36-yard attempt, and straight through the uprights. Tanner Morgan getting pressured. He drops it off to Keith, who shows those quick hands, those soft hands for the tight end, but he stopped just short of the first down by Jalen Graham when he was looking at his college choices. Play action, O'Connell forcing it to the outside, and the pass is complete to Bell. No sorry, man yet on this drive for Minnesota, and again the check down to Toru, and he picks up some yardage after the catch and picks up the first down for the Boilermakers. A flag coming out on the far side. Heard Coley's report early in this game. Eric Miller, Ferry actually might be some tight end targets, and speaking of tight end targets, coming out of high school in a first down pickup. And a big gain for Doru, spinning away from contact and out to the 20-yard line, a pickup of 19.
In that manner, gets you to the edge that quickly.
In that game last week, maybe team high 8 tackles have been playing really well, but not 100% as Bell makes the short yardage catch. And Doru up and over for the first down. receivers to the bottom of your screen, and Milton Wright has himself another touchdown.
Potts from the Boilers. Let's watch the eyes of Aiden O'Connell. He knows the entire way what matchup he likes. Sees out there is Milton Wright.
3rd and 10 now for O'Connell. Sits back and again nearly picked off. How many times is Jack Gibbons going to get a paw on it? It's 3 where he's nearly had a pickoff. Jack Gibbons shouldering a lot of the leadership at the linebacker spot. We heard that Coley Harvey has been watching Sorry Marin there on the sideline, and he's been relegated to kind of Minnesota cheerleader. 3rd and 9 as the pressure's coming. Purdue trying to send 4 or 5, and they get to Morgan, but he gets the throw off, and it's through the hands that time. And Crawford with the punt. One of the unbeatens in the Big Ten in Maryland going down last night to an impressive Iowa team as they swing it out that time to Cross. At some different level, here's O'Connell, the feed that time. And nowhere going for Cross, who's gotten the... Jack Ansell to punt. And Annexstad will let it roll. And a nickname to boot. 6 offensive linemen here on this play as Morgan sizes it up. He's going deep downfield. He has a receiver, and he finds Mike Brown-Stephens for a huge gain.
And he has to move the pocket initially. His eyes are downfield the entire way. He knows he wants to throw it to Mike Brown-Stephens, but he has to move laterally just long enough to set up the window, and he trusts his arm strength. He doesn't have to find him pre-snap. Multiple blockers available.
He's at the top of your screen and trying to get to Morgan and drops it down to Brevin Spann-Ford. Marvin Grant stops him short of the first down. And Trickett, the kick is up and the kick is good. Durr trying to apply the corner blitz and out to the outside. Great grab that time by Yassine today.
I mean, if there's anyone else whose hands look as comfortable and confident as David Bell, it's probably Abdur Yassine so far in this game.
David Bell now enters for this drive and rolling out that way, but it's complete to Garrett Miller and a little bit of more, and look at the tight end go.
The players on the field with lower body injuries throughout the season. He's been a little banged up. You see there, watch him go airborne. Over the defender, tried it again. Moving the sticks for the Boilers. No pain, Durham, no problem.
Tyler Nubin went low for Minnesota, and Garrett Miller went high. 1 catch for 14 yards here from Miller. O'Connell is back. He has all kinds of time to throw to Brock Thompson that time. 5 for 5 on a drive, unless you go 6 for 6, which O'Connell's trying to do. Make it 6 for 6, and that time he finds his other tight end, Paul Peferi. But trying to hold Purdue here and keep him out of the end zone, trying to swing it back to the back of the end zone and throwing it well over. 24-yard attempt here for Finneran. And that kick is good. And about 118 yards on the ground per game. And the fake to Potts. Morgan out of the chute to begin this second half. It finds Brown-Stephens for another big gainer. Brown-Stephens had a 51-yard catch in the first half.
Well-timed report from Coley Harvey. Play action, everyone bites. The secondary bites. Mike Brown-Stephens yet again behind the Boilermaker DBs. Tanner Morgan hitting him right in stride. Has to slow down for it just a bit.
Jamari Brown again starting this second half. No Corey Trice spotting of him in the backfield, and a big take. Potts with a hesitation inside the 5-yard line. That's the biggest play for Trey Potts here today.
Snap this time as the action goes away. He's thinking it's going to be a jet sweep to the tight end. Nope. Play coming back towards the back.
Longest rush play and pass play. They go back to back here on this opening drive here from Minnesota. Cutting it back. It's Potts, and a flag is out. They're going to call it a Minnesota touchdown.
The first level, but occupying the second level as well. That time they're trying to disengage. Defensive front doesn't allow it to happen, so the flag that comes doesn't matter at all. You get the biggest offensive line in college football just leaning on folks, and Trey Potts making it count.
7 offensive line. First half drives, that opening series was a fumble. It was a bad snap, and Otomewu finds himself in the backfield for another tackle for loss.
They want to utilize to sort of supplement the rushing attack. Went with the jet sweep action, but Otomewu was just right there waiting on it.
A couple of tight ends for Purdue, and a flag's coming out. They wanted that. Terrell Smith with the coverage on Milton White that time. Here's O'Connell. Look at all the time that he has to throw, and he finds Wright again.
But as you mentioned, the tie is dry. You have to keep the tie dry. That's the important
It's
thing.
a pro move, Coley. It's a pro move. And talk about a pro move right at the sticks.
King Doru just knows how this whole system works.
2nd and 10. O'Connell, this time finding Doru. He had to settle his feet and spins for the first down and a pickup of a little bit more.
You love seeing it on the outside. He initially makes the route look like he's going to be a pass catcher. Picks up the block. A nice little sweet spin move out in space from Doru.
50% conversion rate here today here for Purdue. O'Connell in trouble. He's scrambling, spinning out of pressure. Now he has some time to throw, or does he? Wrapped up that time, Niles Pinckney.
Big old loss. Watch Pinckney working. Initially, the rush isn't getting home, and then as O'Connell begins to move the pocket, he initially thought about running, evading tacklers. At some point, that play clock in your mind as a QB has to go off. We saw him make the proper decision earlier in the game during the first half. Throwing the ball, loses major yardage, no field goal attempt. Makes sense at this point.
A loss of 12. That's a high snap that Ansel handles. And instead fields it. And he's pressuring. In fact, they bring a ton of pressure, and Morgan just kicks it away. And a flag coming in. And looking to pick up the first down. He already has 2 carries for 8 yards. And pushing it, it is going to be close. Fake again to Potts as Morgan tries to pick it up with his feet, and he does exactly that. But you really don't want to see your quarterback sliding head first.
Well, and I think part of the reason I say that is because the defenders weren't necessarily fully converged on him yet. The tragedy that befell that program last year.
To mourn and then to get back to playing football. And pressure coming, and boy, was it coming from Burns.
Struggling to get the ball off, struggling to evade the oncoming rush because a lot of Gophers were in the backfield in the face of Aiden O'Connell as that Boilermaker pass protection breaks down.
4th sack. O'Connell. Crossing pattern to Paul Paferi. 7 tackles for loss and 4 sacks here so far. Brock Annexstad. It is tough to be a returner in this weather here today. At 2, at 1, they get the snap off. And Morgan just whips it that time to Jackson, who picks up the first down and is chased out of bounds to the end of the 3rd quarter. Morgan to Jackson. Jackson's in trouble, and he's going to be well short. Flattened, absolutely laid out by George Karloftis. And Coney Durer has returned to this game, by the way. The top of your screen, what a catch! Milton Wright does it again.
Sideline, they're attacking Terrell Smith again. Maybe a little push off, but you see the right foot down in college football, that's all.
Doru in motion. And they find Doru in the near side across the 40, and it's Durr who's re-entered this game who makes the tackle. Bell's at the bottom of your screen, right to the top. And O'Connell feeds and fires and hits to Garrett Miller. A 4th down conversion, and a huge one in this drive, keeps on kicking.
Maybe a slant pass, it's a really easy throw and catch, but Aiden O'Connell, as Miller makes the grab and gets that knee down, but O'Connell's fading away from the opposite hash, throws it all the way across the field with accuracy.
O'Connell looking to his left. left and looking right's way, right, bobbled. With 6 catches for 91 yards, a 37-yard try, and this one well right. Have changed the look, the presence, the attitude of this Boilermaker defense. 2 Potts and a flag out. Potts, for now, will pick up the first down.
See, because it looked to me in live action earlier that maybe Karlaftis had gotten held.
Holding defense number 90. That 10-yard penalty is added on to the end of the run. First down.
Well, if anything, it looks like maybe there could have been offsetting flags.
Morgan to Potts. He's not going to get there. Jack Sullivan wrapping it up, and Dean. Second tackle for loss for Purdue here today, and a team that picked up a season-high 9 of those against Illinois last week. And this one dropping inside the 5, and it's fielded beautifully by Minnesota. Timing it, and even in the slick conditions, holding it. The worst starting position of the day here for Purdue, and Bell gets him out of it across the 35.
His chunk play, play action in the backfield, ensuring their one-on-one matchup on the outside. They found the matchup they like when you get David Bell against a youngin, a true freshman like Justin Wally. He's game, he's up to the task, but David Bell.
Dover avoiding all kinds of tacklers and a juke move to pick up the first down, and gets pushed out after he crosses midfield. 10 on this play.
And there was force brought into his face initially. He's got teammates flying backwards, lead blockers who aren't accustomed to lead blocking like Dylan Downing. But the King making that jump cut.
Now 21 carries for 95 yards. And close to a 100-yard day on the ground. And looking for Bell, he couldn't play that with 4th down conversions. 2 for 2 today. As O'Connell drops it, and they're going to spot it just short. Kramer again, and Kramer just slithering past and picks up the first down. Not sure how he squeezed through, but he did exactly that.
Rated as a dual threat for a reason. Looked like this had the opportunity to maybe go for even longer yardage. They had him stacked up for a moment. That's where those legs start churning for Kramer. Just a very small crevice on the interior. Nice cut.
Homecoming here for Purdue this weekend. And Potts picking up the first down and spinning and gaining even a couple more yards. What a run there for Trey Potts to keep this one going. It's Kramer to take it, pushback. A huge stop by the Purdue D. Alexander, the first to push him back. And Trickett trying to do exactly that, and the kick is good.
We just saw on Purdue's last field goal try the difficulty of even getting a clean snap. Look at the hold on the back edge of the football, making it happen. And Trickett right down the pipe.
That's Mark Crawford. Pressure coming. In fact, Minnesota bringing 4, and O'Connell handles it to Anthrop at the 30-yard line, a gain of about 5. Quick snap, O'Connell to Doru. And brought down right at the sticks. It'll be a first down pickup. O'Connell to Pell, who leaps up and makes the grab. Boilermakers picking up a huge play in the final few minutes, a pickup of 23.
And David Bell knows as he goes up to field that pass that he's going to get crunched, but a clean pocket for O'Connell. He missed on the previous sideline. He put it on the money there.
5 catches for 82 yards for Bell, and add to that tally. Another first down.
The end cut coming from Bell.
O'Connell looking to his left. Changing directions to his right, it's incomplete. 13th career 100-yard receiving game today for David Bell, and that one nearly intercepted.
I can only imagine the ball slipped out of the hands of Aiden O'Connell here, as I like the read. The ball really just sailed on O'Connell there.
Three receivers, O'Connell. And picked off that time. To seal the deal, Tyler Newman that time hangs on.
Back in coverage, one split toward David Bell's side, and Tyler Newman the entire way with zone eyes in the backfield. And he just sort of baited Aiden O'Connell into attempting this pass, knowing the entire way that he can cover the ground necessary to get there. At 6'2", 210 pounds, the consistency of Newman has been under question. Look at him here as the deep safety. He just shuffles very calmly, very cautiously towards the side. And then when the ball gets thrown as it's in flight.
FCS teams this year. He's experienced that even when he was a head coach at Western Michigan. He said it's not the end of our season, but the response to that loss could be. And they respond on the road with a win in career game number 50.